Hold on to your seats because we are about to unveil some shocking information about the TikTok privacy policy that nobody seems to be talking about. Yes, this issue has already been all over the news, but our team dug deeper and we discovered some concerning details that might make you think twice before you use TikTok.
You won't want to miss this eye-opening discussion as we break down the truth behind the data collection methods of one of the world's largest social media platforms and what that means for you.
Get ready to be amazed as we reveal the dark side of TikTok's privacy policy in today's live stream. And we're going to start with all the little pieces of information that TikTok actually collects about you. And they collect a lot, starting with your IP address. Your IP address can be linked to your home, can be linked to your office. In order for TikTok to be able to track you everywhere, they have to know whether you're on Wi-Fi or using cellular data, which leads us to the next piece of information they collect, network type, whether you're on Wi-Fi or cellular data. They also collect your user agent, which is fancy word for what browser you're using. They collect your mobile carrier, like whether you're using Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T. They collect what time zone you're in and identifiers for advertising purposes. And what does that mean? These types of identifiers include things like cookies and pixels and mobile device identifiers, which allow companies to target specific advertisements at you based on your browsing habits and other personal data. And it's also used to track the performance of their ads, meaning if you click on an ad, do you buy the product or not? Companies want to know that.
They also collect a lot of information to figure out exactly what device you are watching TikTok on. So they collect the model of your device, the device system, iOS, Android, some other weird operating system. But it's not just the device system, it is the specific version of the operating system. So instead of just iOS, they can drill down to iOS 16.3.1. And they collect your screen resolution. Those are the dimensions of your phone, helping them identify which specific phone model you are using.
And if they know you're on 16.3.1 and a vulnerability is discovered in that version, they know exactly whose phones to go after with that vulnerability. They also collect your user ID, which is randomly generated, and just a way to label you in their database individually. And they collect your device IDs, which are also randomly generated, just a way to associate all of your devices, your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad, with you in their database. They also collect app and file names and types, and something we'll talk about in a little bit, keystroke patterns or rhythms. Let that sink in.
They also collect your battery state, your audio settings, and connected audio devices. So if you're using AirPods while watching TikTok, TikTok knows that.
It's all like this puzzle where TikTok is gathering all the pieces, and when they put them together, they create a complete picture of who you are. So the number 3 TikTok privacy issue is what they do with your biometric information, which is interesting because biometrics are actually, you think that'd be the number 1 problem, but it's not. TikTok may collect biometric information such as face prints and voice prints from user-generated content. Well, this is used for special video effects and content moderation. It also raises concerns about the potential misuse of this sensitive information. And with the rise of deep fakes, shouldn't we be concerned about this, David?
Well, I think it's the number 3 privacy issue right now, but in the future, it could very easily be the number 1 privacy issue. Deepfakes are already getting very, very impressive, but it's mostly limited to major public figures and celebrities who have done a ton of interviews. Now that they're collecting all of this and potentially being able to make deepfakes for regular people, it's not unreasonable to think that in the near future, we could have videos of people appearing to confess to crimes, for example, when in fact they're not. And I think it's a very slippery slope, and I'm just very concerned about just what deepfakes are going to be used for in the future.
Mm-hmm. Just a way to sow discord among people, to create confusion, to create chaos. The number 2 TikTok privacy issue is, as I mentioned before, keystroke patterns or rhythms. Think about that. When you type, TikTok isn't just monitoring what you type, which would be known as key logging. They're monitoring how you type. The way you hold your phone and the speed at which you type and swipe is different from your mom and dad, your kids, or your grandparents. It's totally unique to you. Now imagine that a computer can analyze all that data and build a fingerprint of you. And if you wanted to build a digital fingerprint of someone, you might need more than just the way they type and swipe. Maybe you need the way they hold their phone or swipe across the screen too. How fast they do that is also unique. Well, isn't TikTok the perfect app for gathering all of that information? They've got your patterns.
Yeah, well, I think it also ties back into the accelerometer issue we keep talking about, which we actually just talked about in the iOS 17 wishlist video we put out the other day. The accelerometer can tell what angle you're holding your phone, and if you poke the screen really hard or you're swiping, that's how TikTok or other apps could figure out, and help build this fingerprint for you. And Apple right now is saying, oh, it's not a privacy concern. We're not even going to give you the ability to turn that off for specific apps. And this is one very glaring reason why they should.
It totally is. I never actually thought about it until I read their privacy policy, how the way that we type and swipe could be used to build this fingerprint of us. But then I read their policy. I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. Somebody should patent that. I'm sure they already have. A little bit scary, though. But the number one TikTok privacy issue is what really happens with your content even before you save or post it. They say they do this to recommend audio options that generate captions. But what it really means is that TikTok has access to your content before you choose to share it publicly. David, have you ever heard of the term pre-uploading?
No.
I hadn't either. This is directly from TikTok's privacy settings, privacy policy, in other words. They say when you create user content, we may upload or import it to the platform before you save or post the user content, also known as pre-uploading. For example, in order to recommend audio options, generate captions, and provide other personalized recommendations. If you apply an effect to your user content, we may collect a version of your user content that does not include the effect. Two things here. First, pre-uploading means that if you are using an iPhone, for instance, and when you open TikTok the first time, you say, okay, yeah, I want to allow TikTok access to all of my photos. Sounds benign, but then they can pre-upload all of your photos to their platform in order to analyze them. So they could just take all your content, and they're saying it right here in the privacy policy.
Yeah, or what happens if you're going to upload a TikTok and you accidentally select the wrong video, and it's a sensitive video you don't want being uploaded anywhere. Now that's uploaded to TikTok, and they have all that data, and it's being stored somewhere. So scary.
Exactly. Maybe you wanted to put something up on TikTok, and you used one of their filters to censor a certain part of the image, right? Well, TikTok is saying here that they're going to collect a version, in their words, collect a version of your user content that does not include the effect as well.
And, despite all of the data they're collecting to give you super targeted ads, they're still paying creators very, very, very poorly. It's kind of embarrassing, the ad rates creators get, which I guess is kind of small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, but it's just another frustrating point being on the creator side of things.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we've never really focused on it, because we had a few TikToks actually go viral, and I've never taken the money out of our account. I mean, we've gotten tens of millions of views on TikTok. We don't follow anybody. We just sometimes post our videos there. We currently have made a total of $550, which is great on one level. But if you think about the number of views that they got,
right.
It's so little, and how much money they made. There was another topic
TikTok,
we talked about. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say same thing. TikTok right now, they're seeing all this negative press. They're saying, okay, what can we do to get some positive wins here? They just announced a 60-minute privacy restriction, but that might lead them to collect more data on teenagers.
Why would TikTok choose to put a 60-minute limit on how long people can use their platform, but only if you're under 18? Is it really to be nice? Is it really to help the parents? Or is it because it's illegal in some countries, including this one, to collect a lot of this targeted information about people that are under 18? So what I think they're doing, and it's pretty obvious, is they're incentivizing kids to create new accounts or change the birthdays for their accounts so that TikTok can just gather all this information without consequence about young people in our country.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a spike of 18 to 29-year-olds signing up for TikTok over the next several months. And the thing with TikTok, too, is that it's very difficult to change your birthday. You do have to contact customer support and report an issue with your account. So it's just going to lead to a lot of these 13 to 17-year-olds making new accounts saying they're 18 to 29. And TikTok's going to collect all this information about them, and they're going to see a nice spike in their user base. It's a win-win-win-win for TikTok here.
Until they get sued, hopefully, over this
or
BS
banned in the United States.
Or banned. Exactly. Takeaways from this discussion are that it's important to be at least aware of the content that TikTok is gathering about you. We're not saying that they're definitely up to no good. We are saying that the wrong person or organization could use the data they collect to make a virtual clone of you that knows enough about you to distract you, and just enough time to use their deadly laser beams on you to zap you to death, and then replace you without anyone else knowing. No big deal. Remember, subscribe to our channel and join for some easy-to-follow PDF guides of our most popular setting videos, and maybe in the future we'll make one about how to de-TikTok your phone.